In this video, I am going to talk about location data modeling. Now, as you know that my name is Somen Mondal. I am a commercial property buyer agent. We buy commercial properties for our clients, for ourselves. So this video is going to help you if you are planning to buy a commercial property, how you can implement in knowing this location data model. So without further ado, let's start. All right, a location data model. What is a location data model? It's about a particular location and then you put together data and create a matrix like one location A, and then the location B, then location C, and each of these location has its own parameters, own metrics. And what we particularly want to know, each of these location, what is the cap rate of that particular type of properties. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are want to create a location data model for New South Wales, because you want to buy a property in New South Wales, and this is exactly you want to do. So in our case, what we do is that in New South Wales there are multiple cities. The capital of New South Wales is Sydney. That's one category, and then we have other locations, right? We can put together, let's say Wollongong, we have Newcastle, Maitland, Tamworth, Wagga Wagga, Orange, Dubbo, you name all the different locations that you need to put together. That's how we do. Then for each of these location, then we put together about what are the types of properties. For example, the industrial market in that location, retail market in that location, office market, or specialized childcare, petrol stations. Then we put together. Why it is important? Because if it is a residential property, you do not have to do this, because there is something called RP data where you can just plug the address and you'll be able to get most of these information. It's not possible to get that in commercial property, which is why you need to get those informations and keep it and put it as a location data model, so that when you are looking to buy a property in that particular area, you know what is the data. So like, what's the cap rate in that area, what type of properties. Based on that, you'd be able to formulate and put to that offer. Because it's not very simple to do this in commercial, because there is no such database where you can plug into and get those data, and that is how you have to create this location data model. So that's exactly what we do as buyer agency. We put together all the different location, New South Wales, and then we go for Queensland. In Queensland, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Gympie, Rockhampton, Emerald, Townsville, all the different locations. And then we put together in that location what are the different parameters, such as, okay, what's the industrial market there, what's the retail shop there, what's the office market there. So that way you put together all these and you bring that, okay, the property, for example, industrial property, this kind of property, what is getting sold now, or the last 3 properties that got sold, last 6 properties that got sold. So the benchmarking, you then put together this data and come up with what's the cap rate it is getting sold. And it is important that you have to do this yourself, because there is nothing available in the market right now. And in fact, if you can think about that, if you put together all this data all across Australia and create a location data model, you can even sell this to different buyer agency who wants to tap into that data, or even you can create a business model out of it. That being said, we have been doing this and we are using internally, because every time we want to buy a property, let's say in a market, let's say Rockhampton in Queensland, then we know for that area, for that type of properties, what our location data model says. Based on that, we know this is the kind of property cap rate that we are going to go through, and we put that offer accordingly. It is important. Otherwise, if you don't know anything and if you compare like, okay, the market in Sydney location model is the same as Brisbane, or if it is regional area, that's not true. Same thing is for residential as well, right? So you need to know and you need to put together. And why I'm saying this, because if you want to buy a commercial property, you need to know this, and if you don't have this, you have to capture, and which is why it is very difficult if you want to buy only 1 or 2 commercial properties, because you need to create all this data model and get that data before know that what's happening in that market. Now, if you're buying 1 or 2 properties, the best way to do this is pick one particular location and get all this data and keep this, so that way you are only looking there and you can compare and you can make that as a deal, or you can put offer accordingly. So in a nutshell, location data model is all about capturing data different market, different locations, and in different locations there are different types of properties, and even in different types of properties different size of properties, and accordingly you have to create the database, and that is what you are going to refer every time you're putting an offer. I hope it gives you some idea about how the location data model can be created in commercial property, which is in residential properties easy. You don't have to, because you can just subscribe data from RP data or others like home price guide and all sort of domain. They provide those data, so it's easy for you to just plug the address and get that data and put that offer accordingly, which is not available much in the commercial property. So hopefully you like this video and you got some idea. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe our channel, turn the notification bell on, so you get to see more videos like this, and it also help us to reach out to more people like you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.